Hey everybody, it's Brent, Central Arkansas. It's been a couple weeks since I did a greenhouse update, and I try to do them every 2 weeks. And this is your first impression, as usual, when you walk in. Let's look at the strawberries first. These are every 8 inches, and they're doing pretty good. These are every 4 inches, and I like right now the way they look. You can see here I've got some nice berries growing on them. I haven't had to do too much pollinating. This one is something I want to show you. This is what happens when you're not paying enough attention. The top bucket up there had the little hole that started clogging a little bit. And what happens is not enough drips down and these things get stressed. But as you can see here, I've watered them and they're starting to recover. Here's another one. A bunch of berries on them, even some flowers. And here's my last tower here. Lots of little berries on there. I hope they get nice and big and juicy. This is my onion tower, and they seem to be doing pretty good. I'm getting several leaves on there. I got some here. It's really thick stalk in here, and I hope it doesn't start to bulb inside the tube. But at the very least, we'll learn some things. Another onion tube. This is one of my breeding Succeed tomatoes, and it's pretty indicative of all the tomatoes where they're at right now. They're starting to set fruit, as you can see from this little one here. We got some flowers, and I'm pulling them to the outside of the cage, and I'll start wrapping as it gets up a little higher. Here's another one on the other side. And another one. All pulling out of the cage now, and I'm going to start wrapping soon. Doing this with the wrapping stresses the plant some, and that's both good and bad. I've started leaving a little bit more leaves on these, and when I put it to the cage here, not stake it, but when I clip it to the cage, I let it go ahead and grow up some like this a little ways. Maybe let the plant unstress a little bit, and then when it gets to a certain point, I'm going to bend it over and wrap it around a little bit further. But I'll probably let it get, where's my hand? Yeah, I'll probably let it get another 6 or 8 inches tall before I wrap it around again. When I do that, I will trim a couple of the lower leaves off. So that's more or less how I'm doing it. You can see there's some nice tomato set back there. None ripening on this particular one. This is a Campari F3. This is my Alamo. I did a 1-minute veggie on this, and it's already bounced back this far. I'm going to take you in a little bit here. My celery's coming along nicely. You can see, based on my hands, the size of the celery. The good thing with this is, like the spinach and the turnip greens I've shown you before, you can just take a cutting off the outside and use it in your soup or whatever, and just let the sucker just keep on growing. Cut and come, I guess, is a good way to call those. Cut and come. So I've got 2 in there. This blue Scotch kale looks as incredibly awesome. It really does. It is just not skyrocketing and throwing out a lot of foliage. That's good as far as I'm concerned, as long as it stays nice and healthy. Not a problem. Up top, I've got the Sun Gold trained to the bar there, and they've got flowers on them. I can take a little pole and shake them to pollinate them if I want. Or I can use this little blower I bought. I think it was like $25, and I hit the strawberries and the tomatoes, pretty much everything in the greenhouse with that a couple times a week. Vortex beans, if you look up there, they're growing taller. They're going to dangle down. I've got my lettuce tower here, and I'm not real happy with that. I harvested a couple off the bottom and they were nice and green and pretty, but these are light colored, which usually means they're either drowning or they're starving for something. So if they're my first thought is nitrogen, and it may be nitrogen, but I've also got some little spots on them. That may be a little too dense planting, so instead of every 4 inches, I'm going to do every 8 inches next time. They all look good. Another possibility is those 2 or 3 cabbages that are in that pot are sucking every bit of nutrient out before it has a chance to drip down. If you look at the strawberries next to it, they look beautiful compared to the others. Now, that Karaki up there, that one also, this is where the pak choi was, and now you might remember where I had planted spinach in between. Well, the spinach is starting to come on now after I cut the pak choi out that bolted. So I'll keep my eye on this lettuce and we'll see how that goes. Might have to tweak that some. In this jungle aisle, real quick, you've seen it before, it's just a little different view. I've got some small cabbages here and there. I've got a small Chinese cabbage over there. I've got, looks like some overdue spinach that needs to be harvested. The carrot tops in my smaller carrots are getting a lot longer, a lot thicker. Nice and pretty. A couple more cabbages here. Tomatoes. I've got that one grow tower here that I put the lips on that's got both turnip greens and spinach, and they are doing great so far. On the very top, I've got potatoes that are going crazy. A lot of growth in them potatoes. They're doing well. Every hole that I planted the little cuttings of potato pieces has come out now. And this is the other side. So that is doing wonderfully so far. I mean, it's looking good. We'll see how she goes. Since we're here, I'll just go ahead and show you. I've got a lot more spinach there. It needs to be harvested. Another cabbage, another spinach. I've got some green beans down here. They're producing. As you can see here, they need to be picked. And I've just been really busy. Spinach, it's getting so aggressive, it's growing tall. It's not sending up flower heads yet, but in either case, it needs to either be cut back or started over. Some more cabbages growing there. Some beans in the center. These are my older carrots here. They're still doing wonderfully. Nice big carrots in there. Not really cut and come, but pick and come back again. Corn's doing good, and it is, now that it's warmed up, it is throwing a lot more pollen dust, as you can see there, and that's good because that means that this tassel is going to get pollinated. Beets are growing very well. If you look in here, they've gotten, let me see if I can get in there close enough for you to see. I've got little beet heads in there, but they're so tight. I don't know how, they really need to be thin. They're probably 1 to 2 inches, a lot of them in there. More cabbages, looking great. Fighting for room, fighting for room. A different kind of beet. More cabbages and the tomatoes. Now in this particular fawn, if you look here, you can see that I'm already starting to get peppers, which is good. This one is called Flaming Flare. I've got another corn planted there, corn bucket, and this is basically tomatoes, peppers, and eggplant. And they are all looking great. There's an eggplant right there. They're all doing wonderfully. The peas are producing like crazy. Haven't been able to keep up with them. A lot of them are past due. I need to pick them and probably get rid of that thing, but they're doing good. I got some asparagus there that we'll see what we do with those later. Maybe plant them out in the beds. I've got my black cherry tomatoes here. Tomato wrapping done with those. They are still producing. They're not flowering quite as aggressively, but I mean, look at all the dang green fruit on there. So those are doing well still. Got a couple. This whole fawn here needs to be built, but right now it's just holding the plantings. And basically I've about given away most of this stuff. I got to give away the rest of it and redo this fawn platform. These are the little planter full of the cabbages. As you've seen before, the cabbages and the Chinese cabbages, and the heads are hard. These are, I'd say 3 of the 5 on this one are ready to eat. These are the beans that I cut back completely, and they're not sending up a lot of high growth. I mean, it's a lot of dense growth, and they're still putting on some pods. So I'm not sure what I think of this. I'm probably not going to go that route anymore. That's pretty much it with the inside the greenhouse grow. There's a lot of stuff growing on in here. It's pretty packed. I will learn some lessons like I always do, make adjustments like I always do, and we'll just go forward. And I'd like for you to join me if you would. This is Brent in Central Arkansas. We'll see you guys later.